Hi, I'm Mike Marino, and this is a brand new episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world watching this pre-recorded podcast called Live from My Mother's Basement. You could tell in the enthusiasm of my voice right now, I'm so happy to be in the basement because the last few recordings, we weren't here. We had to be someplace else. Although I like traveling, I like being in different places, but there's no place like home, especially when your basement is in the home you grew up in, here in the great state of New Jersey, with a Jersey boy / man / actor. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Kevin Interdonato. What's up, bro?
Hey, man. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming down the basement, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Been hearing so much stuff about you and your career. I want to figure out how we actually got to know each other. I know we got a lot of friends in common.
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things is we want to start off with, he's got the coolest last name in the history of Italian last names.
You think so?
I think so.
Thanks, man.
How do you even say it?
I think it helps saying it easier if you're from where we're from. Because everyone else is Interdonato, but it's Interdonato.
Yeah.
You know? It's
Yeah,
just kind of...
you just blew by it.
Yeah.
Interdonato.
Just throw it out. That's it.
Whereas other people might read it going,
Yeah.
donation? Donut?
I've heard it all.
I've
heard it all.
Really?
Just flip it out. That's it. Interdonato, done. Boom.
Let's rewind. Where were you born?
I was born in North Jersey. My mom lived in Elmwood Park. My dad's from Garfield. I was born in Ridgewood.
I'd like to say that a lot of people who watch my podcast watch from different parts of the world. I have people who watch from Dubai, people who watch in the United Kingdom. So when I come home and I interview somebody from New Jersey, we have to explain the Jersey euphemisms. Is that the word? Euphemisms?
Euphemisms?
Euphemisms? He said North Jersey.
Right.
You know what that means to somebody in England? What? What does that mean? And I don't even know if they have that in any other state.
Well, it's like three parts to us, right? Jersey's
Yes,
like
they
three
always
parts.
say there's South, North, Central.
And Central. But then there's like West, which could be Kentucky for all I know.
Yeah,
You know?
it's Pennsylvania. Is it?
Yeah.
Where is West Jersey? It's over there.
Over there. Down there and out that way.
Oh, you don't want to go over there. You don't want to go over there. It's funny how we all seem to be the same in this state, in the northern region and in the central region.
Mm-hmm.
Once you head down south, it does become different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little off. You know, before I went to boot camp, I was 18. They do this
It's
thing.
a little off.
It's a little off.
There's good two things we need to explain to the people in England.
There
What's
was
that mean?
There was a bunch of guys from New Jersey that got together at Fort Dix, which is a big base in Jersey, and they prepped everyone in New Jersey before they shipped us out. It was 3 days, and it was a big mix of people, and there were some people who talked like this, and I never even understood what they were from.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, "Where are you from?" And they said, "South Jersey." Like, you gotta be kidding me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was odd. It was a really odd thing.
Imagine that. Where you from? North Jersey. How you doing? Where you from? South Jersey.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah.
What line did you cross?
And where's your teeth? You know?
I got knocked out from somebody from North Jersey.
Right.
What's the town in North Jersey you're in? From?
Well, I was born up here, and then I moved down to, lived in Middletown, then I grew up in Howell. Graduated Howell High School, lived in Belmar for a few years on and off. Moved to Los Angeles. Los Angeles was not my cup of tea, but I met my wife out there,
Really?
Amanda.
And you
Beautiful girl.
brought her to New Jersey?
Yeah. She's an East Coast girl. She's from Rhode Island, which is like a mini New Jersey. And we hit it off, and then we got married, and we wanted to have a kid, and there was no way I was raising a kid out there.
Right.
So we came back here, and that was that. Now I got my little girl, and
So you're here in New Jersey?
yeah.
Where in New Jersey now?
I don't want to say the city.
Oh, okay.
North.
He's still in North Jersey.
North.
That was so cool. You see him? He's so Italian. I don't want anybody to know where I live. And here I am going, we're in Scotch Plain.
Kev, tell me your phone number real quick.
The back door's open. Come down the stairs.
He'll be there tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
Kevin's here. Into Domingo.
Let me get my social security card. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, listen, we're protected. There's a baseball bat behind every single door in this house. No shotgun, baseball bat. And I think there's some deer around the area, too. North Jersey to me
Yeah.
was always because I spent a lot of time in Belmar as well. That's where
Yeah.
we cut our teeth as
Yeah.
beachgoers, and we called them
The
the
Bennies?
Guidos, the Bennies.
Yeah. What does Benny stand for? Stand
I
for?
forgot. B was supposed to be, I don't know. Sometimes people said Bayonne. Somebody said Bergen County.
Right, that's what I
Essex
heard.
County.
Yeah. Newark, New York.
Newark.
That's what I heard.
New York, yeah. And then another E for Edison. I don't know.
Maybe.
It had to do with North Jersey people coming down to the Jersey Shore, which was considered South Jersey. But even if you went as far as Seaside, it's really not South Jersey.
Right.
You keep on going and you get down to Cape May, it does look like it's another world
Yeah.
down there. They look like they're still in 1776. They got all those antique hotels.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
Even the trees are different. South Jersey
Yeah.
is like maybe exit 1, maybe like exit 69ish.
Past Wildwood.
Yeah, down there. Yeah. Yeah, different world. So we stay up here.
Yeah, it's best to stay up here. You know, you keep your attitude. You keep your attitude.
You stay sharp.
Yes.
You stay
yes.
sharp. You go down there, you can slow down.
You go down there, you tell people where you're from. You stay up north, you say, I don't want to mention where I'm from, unless you're in Central Jersey like me. The back door's open. Goes up Italian. You got brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother. He's a year older. My brother Dennis. He was in the military too. He's a drill sergeant. Not anymore. He's a realtor. My mom and dad are down in Central Jersey now.
Is a drill instructor different than a drill sergeant?
I think a drill instructor is Marines, right? Drill sergeant is Army.
Oh, okay.
I think. So we were in the Army. Yeah.
So you got out of high school, you went to the Army?
Yeah, I joined. You know when they had the people in the hallways in high school trying to recruit you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got me.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was a nut. So I just signed up, went home, told my mom. She got a little mad. But then I went away, came back, did 7 years. And then in 2004, we got activated to go to Baghdad.
So did you see action?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did you come home okay? I mean,
you know, there's still things I'm dealing with, and it's been 20 years, but just got to roll with it, and that's that, you know.
I would assume. I mean, I've never seen any action. Of course, I showed you before the trophies for doing the military comedy tours, but it's not like we saw anything at all, ever. We were always protected, and I've went to some bad places. First time I ever did a USO comedy tour was Japan, but it was peacekeeping. One I went during the bad times was when Milosevic was doing something in Kosovo and Sarajevo and those places. And I remember the driver of this bus taking the comedians to where we were headed was explaining why all the beautiful fields had explosions and all the rocks and they destroyed it. Looked like Scotland.
Wow.
So this guy explained to me. I said, "What were you all fighting about?" And he goes, "Religion." Like, fuck.
Isn't that something?
I can't. What? And then he showed you. I think this is 70s. And I wasn't in the 70s. The war was in the 70s when they fought in this hotel and all the people that got killed. And they didn't know the Americans landed until they saw black military men because they all look alike.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And then they buried thousands of people that were murdered during the war where they had an Olympic stadium. The Olympic stadium of the Cold War. I don't know. I can't remember it all. I just remember looking at everybody going, this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. You destroyed it. Kind of like if you were watching the news today.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, look at Gaza. It was probably beautiful. You blew it up.
Yeah.
So you must have seen stuff like that, huh?
Enough to not want to ever, have anything to do with going back at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're lucky that you came home, or you're lucky that
Thanks.
you
Yeah,
got out of
very
that
lucky.
situation.
Very lucky.
So what made you get into, he's in showbiz, ladies and gentlemen. He's
Yeah.
an actor, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing some movies, he's going to be doing TV shows. I'm going to call him in a year. He's going to say, Mike, I can't come down the basement no more. I just did the Tonight Show. I'm like, I did the Tonight Show, and I'm still in the basement. You know what's really funny? And maybe you're going to experience this, or maybe you are experiencing this. You can't wait to get something. I got to get it. Then you get it. You're like, that's it?
Yeah.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
I remember there was so many times, like, if I can only get on a Tonight Show. And I'm like, I've done the Tonight Show 100 times. If I can only get on a different show, it becomes that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can only do 1,000 seats, I can't believe I'm only doing 1,000. I should be doing 2,000. I can't believe I'm only doing 2,000. I should be doing 5,000. Mike, there's 5,000. I can't believe I only did 5,000.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind.
It's that climb, that grit in you. Have you noticed though? Because you're a wonderful actor too, by the way.
Thank you.
If through that push, that people may recognize certain climactic moments from your career. Doing the Tonight Show or this or the 5,000 or the 20,000, but you remember even more so some private moments you've had along the way too.
Oh yeah.
That are more impactful and more meaningful and sit here with you. I know I've done so many films, half of them got finished. You know the deal. Half got made, some lost funding, this one, that one, everything. And there's so much of my work where I remember were very private, personal moments in my life as an actor on screen that no one will ever see and I'll never see, I'll never remember. No one will ever be moved by it, But I remember it. But then again, if I got a part on a TV show or this or that, people say, "Oh, well, that was something," and I appreciate it. So I'm always so appreciative of that because it makes people happy. But I got nothing here out of that. I got it from that little short film I did 5 years ago that nobody saw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Tell us about one that happened to you.
A short film, a film in particular like that.
Whatever the moment was that made you think, man, I wish a lot more people had a chance to see that. Or the one that ignited you that made you see like, man, did you see that?
It wasn't even one. There's been enough. And there was so many that I said, you know what? When I moved to L.A., I said, I'm going to learn the other side of this business by hook or by crook.
You kind of have to.
Yeah. So I booked work quick as an actor the first year out there. I was lucky. And I come from a family construction business, so it wasn't 8 hours a day for me. We worked. So when I went to L.A., I was booking, and I realized, all right, I made just enough money to live, just enough, And I was like, man, I got so much downtime. I got to do something else. So I learned producing inside and out. I learned distribution, foreign sales, everything. And I kind of prepped myself, and I started making films out there, too, while I was acting. And it worked. So
I can't believe we didn't know each other in Los Angeles. And when was the last time you were out there? What years was it?
Lived. I moved back here in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, we must have crossed paths literally like this. More than once, man.
When I first went out to Los Angeles, I was in my 20s. At that time, they had this thing you probably know called pilot season.
Yeah.
And everybody from around the world shuffled into Los Angeles for the first 3 months of the year in hopes that they were going to get on a TV series or be part of a pilot that would probably never get to television anyway.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was doing TV commercials in New York City. I had a nice chunk of change, so I said, all right, let's go out. And I would do 3 minutes and get the hell out of there and come home for the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
But when I was around 28, 29 years old, and I wasn't working as an actor anymore, and my face changed, and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, people kept saying to me, you're funny. You people from New Jersey, the way you talk, the way you act, that. I'm like, what? What is it? Mm-hmm. But I always had thick blonde hair and blue eyes, and my parents really are from Italy. So when people would hear me, they're like, you look like you're from the beach.
Yeah.
But you're not. I'm like, no, I'm really not. That's what got me into stand-up. But as a comic, I learned that I could create my own career.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting more acting work while I was performing as a comic than I did in any audition. I just stopped auditioning. People come up to me, you're really right for what we're doing.
Yeah.
And away I would go. And I hope it continues that way. Because then again, like you, I want to make my own projects. I want to work with the people I have chemistry with, that I want to be around, and I want to be the guy who pulls the trigger.
You're already geared for it. I always, I'm not a jealous guy, but it's not that. But I envied comedians and musicians. Musicians because they can create art and have a release on the spot, where they just pick up an instrument and go. For me, to have a release as an actor in my medium, I need people around me to do all this stuff. I need the camera, I need the mic, I need this, I need that, I need the lighting. You know what I mean? In order for what I do to be out public. A comedian The work ethic you guys have is taken for granted they don't even think about that. The discipline you have, the constant drive, getting your audiences there, the work, work, work. Actors just wait. If you talk to an actor, a comedian, a musician, you'll find a lot of actors that use these words often. They believe, they hope, the universe, which I do too, but that's not everything. There's this thing called work, and you got to meet it halfway, or meet it before it even comes out of the gate, and just be ready for it, right? So I envy your profession greatly, man, and the things you've achieved is pretty remarkable.
Well, I do remember when I was just trying to get auditions,
Yeah.
and who's got a good agent, who doesn't have a good agent.
Oh, that's
And then you called, is there anything? Well, it's slow. It's slow. Slow for who?
right.
Slow for who? I'm waiting tables after all these years. What happened?
Yeah.
And in the comedy world, we deal with hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's hell. I mean, it's overwhelming how many people are out there that do it, good, bad, or indifferent. But I always tell people I try to stay on my own track. I go where I'm wanted, and I don't try to break down the door where I'm not wanted. If it's not going to work, I'm not going. I got plenty of work. I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I hope that I get to be the casting director and put my friends in my projects. And I don't, I'm not dealing with that shit no more.
But you nailed something right there, though. You won't go where we don't think you're wanted. That's good, man. Because sometimes out of desperation, we've all been there, especially in early years coming up, and you'll do anything and take anything. And sometimes that's just not your world, right? And as an actor, it wasn't my world, but you do it, and it's like you're not received there, but it's still work. So you just take the work, and then I think you put enough time in, enough people see the real you, the real work, and then you start climbing, and you can call your shots a little more. Yeah.
Were you bitten with the acting bug when you were in the military?
Before I was out of boot camp, I started acting. I was 19, so I started going acting class in New York, and then I started booking work pretty quick, films and everything. And it was going well, and I guess there was a period there for maybe like 3 years. It was going all right, 3-4 years, and then I got in The Sopranos. I got a small part in The Sopranos, in the 4th season, and then I was supposed to come back for the 5th season, a bigger role, recurring role, working under Christopher, and I had 2 other gigs lined up. I remember, and then I got a phone call from my base, and they said, there's like a code that you get. So I picked up the phone one day, and they said, Kevin. I said, yeah. And they said, Specialist Interdonato. I said, yes. Specialist Kevin Interdonato. Now, mind you, when you're in the National Guard, it's like, what's up, Frank? You don't call each other sergeant and lieutenant, this and that. It's not like that. Guard is just like, kind of like you're going to work, but you happen to have fatigues on, Specialist Interdonato, yes. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I forget the phrase. They tell you when you first join, like, if you get a phone call with this saying, that means we're hot. And they said it. And I said, holy shit. I'm going to war, just like that. I was like, wow, boom. And that was it. Lost The Sopranos, lost this, lost that, and that was it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Can you go AWOL at that time?
Nah, I knew what I was doing. I signed the papers. I was quite a rambunctious young dude.
Yeah.
So I didn't, like I say, I wasn't a little nervous, but I was all right to go. And that was that. Didn't know what the hell I was going to expect over there. No one did. Because when we went, it was supposed to be... we're supposed to train and mentor. I mean, it's a long story. I don't want to jar you up. And sometimes I get a little dark talking about it, so it goes a different direction. But it was just...
I could imagine.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate. But then I came back, knock on wood. What the hell I was going to do. I was all messed up. It took about a year, and I got my bearings straight and started from scratch. I was just talking to my dad a lot. My dad's my everything, and I talked to my dad, and I said, I don't know what to do. And he said, what do the ball players do when they have a bad season at the plate? I said, I don't know, Dad. And he said, they bust out the tee. They go back to square one. So I was like, I don't want to go back to square one. I was actually going, but I bit the bullet, and I started community theater, student films in local colleges, and then now it led to a short film and a little play off Broadway, and then off Broadway, and then a feature, and then started going. I kind of found myself through the work, which is why I feel like I owe myself to this craft, this profession, because I found myself as a young man into it, and then when my life was thrown on its ear coming back from war, I found myself through it again, you know, and yeah, continue to.
Well, that's great. So I know there's a lot.
Everyone watching this is going,
No, not at all.
yeah.
They're not even watching. Only in the UK. They're still going, what's North Jersey? What is that? You asked me recently if I knew Peter Dobson.
Yeah.
And the way I know Peter Dobson is because 25 years ago, when we were all hanging around at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, me and all these Italian comedians from around the globe, we used to do a show called The Night of a Thousand Guidos.
All right.
And this guy, Luca Palanca from Brooklyn.
She used to hang up Pete, yeah.
Well, he used to bring Peter Dobson over there all the time. And I remember them just being the coolest, funniest knuckleheads. And I actually met Luca Palanca one night at the Comedy Store. I think he was with Peter. Their leather jackets and their white T-shirts, like straight out of Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
And Luca had this big black Cadillac, and he hit the back of my Jeep.
Oh,
He
man.
actually hit the Jeep in the parking lot. And I remember standing there going, hey, dude, man, you just hit my car. And he goes, oh, is that your car? And I go, I love this guy. That was his acknowledgement. Oh, is that your car? Fuck. But all this time later, I saw a lot of Peter Dobson projects.
Yeah.
So I guess it was maybe sometime before Christmas, maybe, I don't know, but I always had been performing at this place called Vibrato in Beverly Hills, which is a jazz and blues club, and I'm the opening act for Robert Davi.
Oh, wow.
And Davi, of course, you might know him personally, but he's been in a lot of movies. So he and I went down there to do the show. Well, he was doing a show, and he always says, come on, Marino, jump up there, tell some jokes.
Nice.
But after doing it for so long, you look in the audience like, look at all these movie stars. Look at all the movie stars.
Yeah.
And your buddy Joe Cernio was with Peter Dobson, I guess because they worked on a project.
Yeah, this was recently, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Robert Davi. Davi always brings a mutual friend. His name is Nick Villalonga. He wrote the movie Green Book.
Yeah, I just met Nick a couple months ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice guy.
So I know Nick for a long time, and he comes to a lot of my shows. It's a great feeling. He's an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
So they're all in the room. And at this stage of the game in my life, I mean, I don't give a flying fuck. I'm going to roast the shit out of anybody. I don't care who you are. Big star, no star. Gene Simmons was in the room. I'm like, dude, stick out your tongue. I don't give a shit. And it's just a blast. So that camaraderie. Oh, and your other friend was there too. He's in your project. We're going to get to the project. Yes.
Malik is a
He's
great
black
dude.
actor.
Yeah, he's a great guy, yeah.
Yes, he came up to me after the show and he goes, holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. He's
I'm
from
like,
the Bronx originally.
is he
man.
really?
Oh, he's East Coast, yeah.
For some reason or other, I thought he was like a southerner or some shit.
Nah.
And I asked him if he wanted to come on the podcast. So when I get to California, because I believe he's out there,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to make that happen so
Great.
we can have everybody that's in your most recent project. So that brings us to it. And why don't we go ahead and, good, you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say, you're talking about, these are my very close friends. I mean, Joe Cernio is, one of my best friends. I kind of grew up with him. We lived together in Belmar and all that stuff, and he's a wonderful guy, man. Dobson, I always knew about him. Grew up watching him on TV. Went to L.A., one of the first people I met. Walking into an audition, he was walking out. Hit it off, that was that. And then Malik actually worked on a TV series with my wife, a Tyler Perry show. Got to know him very well, and he's like family now.
Oh,
It's a
no
small world. Oh,
shit.
yeah, Malik's, we're tight, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
We're tight. And Peter's like, well, if you notice in the movie, Cernio plays a character named Dobson. He's an homage to Pete. Pete's like, my buddy, but he's like almost also a mentor too. He really reined me in and told me the ropes when I got out there. Yeah.
Peter Dobson was sitting with Joe Cernio. These are stars, ladies and gentlemen. Wait till you see these guys. We're going to talk all about the project that they got that's out.
Yeah.
I went up to Peter Dobson and I go, hey, Pete, you remember me from the Comedy Store? And he goes, are you out of your fucking mind? He goes, of course. I love you, Marino. And I'm like, all right, don't hug me so hard. Don't hug me so hard.
Yeah.
Fucking dude. He's tough, man. Yeah, so that was cool.
Small world.
So a lot of these guys were at this Jazz Club, and they were talking about your project, the most recent project. So I know you're in a lot of projects, but this is the one that everybody's talking about now, and we want you to tell us everything about it and how everybody can go check it out. I was supposed to go to, I guess your premiere was it in Cranford,
Yeah.
but I was out of town, and I think you did a screening in New York City as well.
At a festival, yeah.
Yeah, I was in New York, and I think you guys were later that day or the next day.
Yes, you were there the day before. Yeah, Dance to the Films Festival. Yep.
Yes,
Right.
I was lucky. I've hosted a lot of film festivals.
Did you?
At the awards galas, and I was actually being hired left and right to do it because as a comedian, you're hosting the Oscars.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And if there was a problem, you crack some jokes. Normally, if there was a teleprompter, I still did teleprompting reading, and I'm a pretty good host. I used to do the Beverly Hills Film Festival every year.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple of years, there were guys from Jersey that won projects. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, he just cursed in front of everyone. I'm like, hey, they're from Jersey. One year I was doing Beverly Hills Film Festival, and John Voight came walking in late in my monologue.
Oh, wow.
So I figured, you know what?
What'd you do?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I hope everybody gets something at the film festival. Maybe they'll get a distributing deal or something. I looked at him and I go, who are you to come into this room 5 minutes into my opening monologue? And he goes, there was traffic. And I go like this, how long you living in California, John? That everybody else could be here on time? You got problems?
That's great.
So the audience is laughing, but they're kind of like, uh-oh.
Well, that's because that's West Coast, man.
Right.
If it was here, forget it,
Everybody was laughing. By the end of the night, we were doing it all night long.
Yeah.
I would say, this award goes to so-and-so because he was on time, not like John, who's special. I kept on doing. By the end of the night, he gets his...
was it Lifetime Achievement?
A Lifetime Achievement Award. And he goes, I just want to say, this man should be hosting the Oscars. That personality is outstanding. And then I eventually got a testimonial from him from a show I was going to do. Him and a bunch of other guys. And he said, I remember walking in the room, and I'm watching this comedian roast me and everybody in the room, and I'm thinking, how do I know him? Then I realized, I don't know him. He's just really good.
That's great.
Yeah, and I got
That's
that
great.
on tape.
Really?
And then later on, I was doing a show back at that jazz club with Robert Davi.
Yeah.
And Davi goes over to John Voight and he goes, hey, John, did you ever meet Mike Marino? And John goes, everybody knows Mike.
You're kidding. He was there too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they're friends.
Oh.
See, it's like you
Small
never
world,
know.
man.
Everybody works together because they're really good friends.
Yeah.
And when you're around people that you like,
Well, that's what
you
you
move
want to work
forward.
with.
Yeah.
I knew everybody in the Bastard Sons.
Tell us about the
I never
Bastard
would.
Sons. This is the big build-up to this project. I haven't seen the project. I was supposed to go see it twice, and I still haven't had a chance to take a look. However, I did have Joe Cernio on the podcast. I do hope I could get Malik, and eventually I'll get to see the actual project. But I heard it's kicking ass.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on, don't say it, because I really want to get on her show. I saw you guys on the show. I'm like, I got to get on the show. New York, she's Italian.
He said, don't say it. I'm not going to say it.
Come on,
I'm not going to say Good Day New York. If you don't want me to say something else, I won't say
Yeah, but
anything
what's
else.
her name?
Rosanna Scotto?
They were more on Rosanna Scotto.
She's Italian. Yeah. I'm like, we're going to get along really well.
Look, I want to get on her show.
And she said my name perfect. That's
Dude, she did. You
Yeah.
guys were great on that show.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
I guess you can't go on with everybody, huh?
I was a little nervous. Frankie's been doing it for a long time. Frankie Edgar, he's in this movie. He's just a legend in the UFC and the mixed martial arts world. So it was like nothing for him. I was like, oh shit.
Well, tell us how it all came about. This is an independent film, which means you found monies from where and how did you do it? Who wrote it? Who produced it?
Okay, I'll make a long story go. Back when I lived in New Jersey before I moved to LA, I was scrapping for work anywhere I could find. I was looking at Craigslist. Back in the day, they had casting notices, so I went down for this movie to towards the Atlantic City area. I went to this little business, and there was holding auditions. I did the scene. There's a young man behind the camera. Did my audition, left, and I think I threw a chair across the room, put a hole in the wall, got the part, whatever. So he called me, said, "Hey man, I'd love to have you play the lead in this movie." I was like, "Thanks." He said, "But I don't have any money." So he was such a sweet kid, right? I said, "Oh, it's all right, whatever." Got me out on a Saturday. I got to work, so that's all. I got my fix. Anyway, his name is Glenn Rodriguez. He's a good kid. He's from down in Cape May. We stayed in touch through the years. I eventually moved to L.A. He moved out there about a year after me. We made a couple of short films together, worked on projects together. Super talented editor, writer, even a cinematographer. And then I eventually moved back to Jersey. He moved around a little bit, kept in touch, and then COVID hit. That's death for us. And I said, well, I'm not going to not work, so what am I going to do? So I said, I know there's going to be an end to this, so I'm going to write. So I wrote a couple scripts already and had them executed. So I was like, let me start writing. So I ended up writing 3 scripts very quickly. One of them, which was taken from an old script 15 years prior that this kid, Glenn Rodriguez, wrote when he was 17 years old. He ended up being 18 at the time I met him at this audition. So I called Glenn. I said, what about that script? Where is it? He said, it's in a hard drive somewhere, I said, bust it out, send it to me. So he did. Very simple concept. It was written by a young kid, so it wasn't for men, and needed a total page 1 rewrite. But it was about 5 guys that grew up together. They were criminals. There was a girl involved, and I said, I just kind of like that idea. So I played with it. I wrote it. I double checked everything with Glenn along the process. He was like my consultant with it, and the script was done. And I said, well, I'm not going to write a script and pat myself in the back. If I'm going to write something, I'm going to fucking do it. So by hook or by crook, we started working. It took about a year pre-production, and cameras were up. We were rolling in January 2022, and that was it. A year after I wrote it. Yeah.
Who was directing?
I did. Yeah. I got so close to it, I couldn't let it go. I was thinking about directing. Who am I going to get? I'm like, why am I going to get somebody? I never directed. I never read a book on it. Never thought about it. But then again, I never read a book on writing either, and the stuff I wrote seemed to be, accepted well. So I said, let me give this a go. But I think I played so many leads that I learned how to, it's like getting on stage. Like, you get on stage, you just kind of know what to do. You feel the room, you just kind of know what to do. So I kind of know how to tell a story. And I was going to play the lead role. And I just see this. I just kind of feel it. I understand it. I don't think I could hire someone. They're just going to not do what I see.
Yeah.
So I did it. So I produced it, wrote it, directed it, starred in it, and oversaw post-production, editing, all that stuff to the end, right till now, literally right to now.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was
That's
a lot.
So who was the cameraman?
Joe Manella, nice Italian guy from Brick, New Jersey.
Was that right?
Big Joe, yeah, his first feature,
What's up, Joe?
he killed it, did an awesome job. And I worked with everyone, pretty much everyone I already knew. And if I didn't have someone in a certain position, I asked the people that I knew, and it was off their recommendation.
Right.
I didn't go cold on anybody.
Family.
That's it. I kept it tight, really tight.
Family.
Yeah.
So where'd you guys shoot?
We shot in Little in Bloomfield, in the Poconos, Asbury Park. We shot the Wonder Bar in Asbury Park there. Yeah, it was great. On the boardwalk, Cernio owns a bakery called the Red Rose Bakery in Toms River. And in Howell, we shot the one in Toms River. Freehold, all around there. Yeah.
So did you guys have like a set schedule or every weekend for 6 months?
No, we banged out. It was like, I think it was 13 days total, but within that 13 days, there was two full rehearsal days because there's a couple sequences they were a little violent that we needed to learn to dance,
And you guys financed it yourselves?
Yeah, I did. You know why? Because I look at it like this. Every movie's an LLC, right? Every movie's a business.
Right.
I'm stepping into that chair. It's my business. Creatively, that's that talk, business talk. I'm not going to go ask somebody to fund my business if I'm not going to proof up and invest in it myself. I got to proof up. So I'm not going to ask somebody I never directed before. Deep down, I knew I could, but on paper or on video, I couldn't show anyone, look, I already directed. So I'm like, let me do this myself. So my wife and I bet on me. And I said, well, we'll do it ourselves.
Is she in the project?
No, but she's like the backdoor producer, man. Every day and every night and every second of every day, I'm like, Amanda, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You know what I mean? So we had a lot of discussions and talks and decisions,
So when you put the movie in the can, it's all said and done, then what do you all do?
Me, I slept for about a month. No, I'm just kidding. I actually did 3 features in 6 months. The Sons was the first one.
That you wrote and directed?
Yeah, the next one was 2 months later. That's called Malicious. I wrote, directed, and starred. I wrote, produced, and starred in that. And then St. Michael, the City, I wrote, produced, and starred in that one.
Right.
Yeah.
But I meant, what did you do with the Bastard Sons? Like distributing deal? How'd you get it where it is right now?
So what happened was, oddly enough, so Bastard Sons got picked up by one of the biggest distributors in Hollywood. The Vertical Entertainment took it. They're big. They put out A-list stars in movies, and they picked up the Bastard Sons. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, I went to film festivals with it, and nobody wanted it. And it's a Jersey movie. I didn't try to sugarcoat anything. You know, the way they talk, the way they behave. It may not be for the woke culture. I'm not getting into that, but I just made a movie about
I tell the
life.
woke people, go back to sleep.
I made a movie about the life that I know
Yeah,
and what's real to me.
that's all
And
you
whoever
do.
takes it, takes it. So they didn't take it. And some guy at a big film festival, I'm not going to mention the name, was on the board of directors, got it to him backdoor. He said, Kevin, he absolutely loved it. He said, don't send it to this festival. I said, what are you talking? You just said me loved it. He's like, they're not going to take it, man. He's like, just because you say these words in here, they're not going to take it. I was like, you know what? Fuck this film festival shit. I said, I'm done. So I just put it out to distribution companies and swung big, and Vertical took it. So I didn't get any film festivals, but I got one of the biggest distribution companies in the film industry. Like, do the math. You know what I mean? And here we are. Movies, knock on wood, man. I never would have thought it would be popping like this, but it is, and people are responding to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hope it's making money.
Thanks. Me too.
I hope it's making money.
You and me both, Mike Marino.
I got to tell you, man, I hosted a lot of film festivals like we talked about before.
Yeah.
I stopped
Uh,
because I saw a lot of people putting up all their money,
yeah.
living on a prayer. I hope I get something, and they go home with a piece of plastic.
Yeah. It's a
And I
hometown
used to
hero
see
thing.
some behind the scenes shit, and I'm like, what? Come on.
Yeah.
Is anybody here going to get a deal? And how much does it cost to submit? And how many people submit and don't get in? And what do you do with that money?
Right.
I had my web series, Make America Italian Again, in 2016 in a few film festivals. We go to this one film festival, and one of the episodes won Best Script.
Mm.
And when I went up to receive my award for Best Script, I said, I have to tell everybody something. There's no script. It was an improv. Not one word was put on paper.
That's great.
And they were like, how did you do it? And I'm like, they were all stand-up comics. We had a great director, and we had a great producer. The editor was a genius because he was the director as well. He did it all. And all we did was say, here's the idea, and action.
Let's run.
And then you let people who you know have good timing. Don't get me wrong. There's some stand-ups can't act. There's some actors can't do stand-up. You got to have that chemistry and a rhythm where it's like a metronome is in the room, and it's like a. Otherwise, the jokes fall flat.
Yeah.
And you might get something out of somebody else's mouth that knocks you out, and you better not fucking crack up laughing because you're going to blow the joke.
Yeah.
That's actually
tough.
was brutal.
That's tough.
Because we all were saying the dumbest shit to each other, and you got to stare them in the eye. I got to. Maybe you'd like to be part of, because I'm hoping to start shooting the next season.
Oh, yeah?
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
But now the movie stars that are like, hey, I want to do that. I'm like, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Because, first of all, we do have fun. You put it on social media, and you go through the roof. Because it's funny, and it pokes fun at just life in general. That's what a comedian's supposed to do. You can't get mad at me, because everything I do is about me. Now, you can be offended if you want to, but you're not me, so leave me alone. And the truth is always funny. We did this one scene where it was just a spoof on The Godfather. And our heavy guy that played Clemenza is a stand-up comic. And the other guys are actually Armand Asante's cousin, Marco Asante. So I do the thing, and I said, listen, make sure you find a nice Italian restaurant. I don't want my brother coming out of the room with just his dick in his hand. And all of a sudden the guy goes, but I'm not Italian. I'm Greek. I never said I was Italian. You said I was Italian. I'm Greek. And then Marco goes, well, then just find a Greek restaurant. Oh, you could find a Greek restaurant. How about a Chuck E. Cheese? A Chuck E. Cheese would be good.
And you
It
rolled.
makes
and
no
you
sense.
Rolled. Right.
And you got to do everything you
Yeah.
can not to fucking crack up laughing.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you as if to say, "Go ahead,
Yeah.
don't fuck with me, man."
Just keep rolling.
Because they want to, one up you,
Sure.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
Not, I'm better than anybody.
Oh yeah, and you could feel that energy, man.
Yes.
You could feel when something's cracking on scene during the take. Sure.
Yeah, I'd rather be doing scenes with somebody who wants me to be good rather than somebody who wants me to suck so they look good.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was working on this one project and it had a lot of stars and it was Talia Shire. Me, Vinny Pastore, and Talia Shire. It was a movie called Pizza with Bullets.
Oh yeah.
I was petrified. It was a long time ago. I think it was the first time I ever met big names like that, and I had to do a scene just with Talia Shire. So we do this scene, and she goes, "Was I being funny? Do you think did it come across funny? Because you're the comic, right? You would know it. Is it coming across funny?" And I go like this, "Could you wait right here? I got to call my brother." Anthony, you're not going to believe who I'm talking to. It's Adrian. No, Adrian from Rocky.
That's
And
great.
I went back and I go, "No, actually, your timing's pretty
Yeah.
bad." I didn't. I couldn't believe I met her.
That'd be great.
But that's the gems that come from this because eventually you'll see that we'll end up doing something together.
Yeah.
It'll be a friend, and you're going to be doing something like, "Oh, Mike, I know Mike. Yeah, okay, yeah, and then away you go."
Right. Right.
So where can everybody check out the project now? This
Bastard Sons.
Bastard Sons.
Bastard Sons is on Amazon and iTunes and every cable provider. And so is Malicious, the other film I did right before that. That's more of a horror thriller.
Malicious?
Yeah.
Tell us about Malicious.
Malicious, people are comparing it to Cape Fear meets Funny Games. That was one of the quotes we got. Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense, so a lot of people like it. But yeah, that's what's going on, man. Yeah.
I'm just reading what you're doing. I'm a drywall finisher by trade.
I am.
No kidding.
Yeah, I can't help it. Till the day I walk in people's houses, I look at the cracks. Don't think I wasn't eyeing your house up, buddy, when I walk in here.
Your tape is peeling.
Yeah, I'm a drywall finisher.
There's some blisters.
Yeah.
What Italian person in New Jersey wasn't in construction? Man? Come on. Like my brothers don't pave the streets. I mean, I've been in construction since I'm a kid. Every time I wasn't making enough money. Daddy, hey, Dad, can I come in?
Anybody know a roofer needs help piling, picking up bales of roofing? Yeah, my father started me young, real young. He used to make me work. He's a sheetrocker by trade, so he had me rocking, and then we were taping. And then we expanded, had a construction business. So I did it all, but by trade, I'm a drywall finisher and a painter. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing drywall at my age, man. Boy, I could never pick up any of those things anymore. I remember in my 20s when we were doing that. Oh,
those guys.
And they do it so fast.
It was like a ballet.
Drywall in the ceiling.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about tough, right? And it wasn't like the boards were that like on a scale the heaviest thing. I mean, they were heavy, but the balance, those sheetrockers, man. Yeah.
Well, you're still really young. You could probably do sheetrocking, but I'm glad that you have a great career as an actor.
Thanks.
And I hope you're going to be working on a lot more projects. We all kid around with each other. When he first came over to the house, we were talking about whether it's sauce or gravy. You said something my family always says. It's gravy until there's no meat in it.
Right.
Then it's marinara.
Yep.
My mother said marinara.
Marinara, yeah. We make it marinara during the week.
Yeah.
It's, quick sauce. But if you have it on Sunday,
It's just a quick sauce.
We're throwing a pot on, which means that's it. And also, I was just talking to Rosie. I never said the word pasta until I moved to Los Angeles.
Part of my act.
Really?
Part of my act.
I never said it. We used to say
never said
macaronis and ronies. I never said pasta. I moved to LA. Everyone thought they looked at me like I had 3 heads.
I never said the word pasta till I moved to California, and I put that in my act.
Did you really?
Oh, my God.
I had no idea.
I said, Ma, they say pasta out here. Well, that's the Midigans. The Midigans say that. Yeah,
oh, that's great.
Ask them if they got ragu. My mother would say the water's up.
Oh, that's great, man.
She would say, wake your father.
Yep.
The water's up.
That's it.
Which meant it was boiling, and she was going to put the macaroni in, which would take a certain amount. And then she would put in her wooden spoon, which is in a glass case upstairs, because that's how I honored my mother.
Yeah.
And she put the wooden spoon in there, and then she would put it under the water, taste one, And then she would say, "Okay, wake your father now."
That's
and
great.
then you get jokes from that.
Yeah.
Because anything that's true. Like over there, you see pots and pans from my great grandmother. I mean, they're iron.
Wow.
And that was what you played with. When you were done cooking, okay, here's your toys.
And slept in.
Yeah. If you could see all the way over there, you see that one coffee pot?
The top right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you call that?
Oh, I don't know. What'd you guys call it?
A maginette.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We didn't have that.
That's my great grandmother's maginette, and that's what you made coffee
Yeah.
and or espresso.
Yeah. We didn't have one of those, but
And then you put the anisette in there. It would actually cook it, and then you would have that as medicine.
you're kidding.
Yeah, because if you put anisette, which I guess there's bottles of
Yeah,
it
yeah.
behind us, in the coffee, they cook the coffee. It's like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
give that to a kid, and he's high as a kite, but he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Like
At least he's sick. Well, he's quiet.
yeah.
Who cares?
Get him some ginger ale. You'll be fine. But mine broke my leg. Have the ginger ale.
What then is that?
All those slang words were fantastic. And then you mentioned, of course, the Taylor ham. So
yeah.
the biggest fight in New Jersey, so they split the middle of the state. Some
Yeah.
people say Taylor ham, some people say pork roll.
Yeah.
I always said Taylor ham until I got older. Then I said pork roll because it was more generic. Supposedly, Taylor is a brand that makes pork roll,
Right. This is the never-ending
like
discussion.
Kleenex and tissue.
Yeah, the never-ending discussion.
Just make sure we have it. And I used to do jokes
Yeah.
about that too, because you can't get it anywhere but New York and New Jersey unless you buy it on the internet and have it flown.
You can get pork roll in New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it's a Jersey thing
It's
more
a
than
Jersey
anything because, I don't know, for every state's got their food, right? Like
Yeah.
Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Yep. And then Pennsylvania as a
Texas.
whole is scrapple, right?
Scrapple.
You ever have? I had a good scrapple once.
It's just creepy, though.
Yeah. It was still
It's
good.
creepy. Scrapple is whatever they found on the floor and they put it in by your eggs.
Right. He says it's creepy. He's got a thing full of anisette. 70 years old, sitting over there. But the scrapple, the scrapple's creepy.
Get the word scrapple.
Scrapple, yeah. Yeah, but we called it pork roll. I eat fairly healthy, but that's still a staple in my diet at least once
Pork
a
roll,
month.
egg and cheese on a
Hard
hard roll
roll.
with some fucking ketchup.
Ketchup, salt, and
before you
pepper,
shut your mouth.
Yep.
And you pray you don't die, but it's nothing like a
keeps it
fucking
tough.
heart attack. Speaking of food, Jersey's well known for food, abundance of food. We love diners. Diners, if you're
Yeah.
really going to get a good diner, hate to say it, it's got to be Greek.
It's gotta be great.
Italian's one thing, but the Greeks got the diners down, they got the coffee down, and you get way too much food. So if
Yeah.
you go to a good diner, you always know you're going to a good diner because it's gaudy. It's really unattractive. It's got statues of scary people, and you're going to get some good coffee in there. And if you get the right, whatever you get in there, you can take half of it home because it's going to be too much,
Right.
right? Meatloaf.
Oh yeah.
As you go to a diner, you're going to be crippled when you get out of there. But
Right. And in the summertime, you get up to leave, and your legs are sticking to the seat from the plastic, and that's how you know it's good.
Yes.
The meatloaf and the sticky seats
your shorts.
and your shorts. What's your favorite? You have a favorite diner or two around here, or will you burn a bridge if you say
No.
one, not the other?
In this town,
Yeah.
there's the Scotchwood, which was always a great diner. Everybody went there since we were kids. But there's this other diner that you should go take a look at
Tell me.
because it's a filmmaker's paradise.
Tell me,
It hasn't changed in 100 years.
which one?
There's never anybody in there. It's called the Highlander.
Where's that?
It's in the center of this town on Main Street, on Park Avenue. And I think the guy won the lottery many years ago, so he don't really care whether anybody goes in there or not. They haven't changed anything.
So he
It
just-
looks like a fucking movie
So he
set.
just pays to keep it open.
I don't know.
The
Well, he
Highlander.
owns the building.
Wow.
It's called the
okay.
Highlander.
I'll check it out.
Oh, you go in there and you get a pork roll, egg, and cheese on a hard roll with a side of disco fries. Remember disco
Oh,
fries
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the gravy and the cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, with the fucking coffee and the old school little
Oh, yeah.
tiny cups.
Yep. You know, I'm such a diner guy that when I came back to Jersey, my wife and I went. So my favorite's the Allwood Diner.
I don't
It's
know.
It's in Clifton.
Right.
And the Rainbow Diner, it's in Brick, down there, down by the shore. Went to the Allwood Diner, got coffee. I'm like, Jersey Diner coffee. I miss it. I said, what kind of coffee is this? And they told me. And then I went to another diner. It's great coffee. I said, what kind of coffee is this? Since that day, I've been buying diner coffee, the one they use online, and that's what I use in my house.
He just dropped a challenge. He's saying
was-
coffee, and there's coffee right over here.
Oh shit! Well, I never had it. I'm sure it's wonderful.
We're going to do a shout out to Parisi's Coffee. This is my friend Michael Wheels Parisi. He's in Florida right now. Parisi's Coffee. But here comes a trivia for him. Look at the coffee cup.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that old school?
that is old school.
Because this is his New York coffee, and that's what you used to get when you went to a diner in New York.
Who'd
You
have
got
thought
that.
you'd miss that, right?
You missed that. It used to come in yellow as well.
Yeah.
Because it was chock full of nuts. Remember chock full of nuts?
Yeah.
And then you didn't have no foo-foo bullshit in there. You burned your hand. You held the cup and you went, hey, you motherfucker. Yeah, get the hell out of here.
That's why
We'll see
everyone's
you tomorrow."
mad. That's why everyone's mad in the mornings. Get hot coffee. They're
You
pissed
can
off.
smell that. Smell that.
Oh yeah,
Isn't
that's
that great?
nice. Yeah.
We'll send you home with a parting gift.
That's good.
While we're talking about food, pizza in New Jersey is just the best. We both spent time in California, and we cried when we got a slice of pizza because somebody would say, we only have personal size. And you're like, I'll fucking knock you out. See how upset he got?
Didn't that throw you for a loop?
Yeah.
I go for a slice of pizza. They said slice. I said, well, what else is there? They give the pie. I said, then cut a piece of it. What do you want me to tell you?
What'd you want on it? Well, cheese.
They act like it's a novelty. We got you a cheese and sauce pizza. I said, what do you want? What do you want, a trophy? Yeah, I'll get you one from Marino's Film Festival. He's talking to the audience right now.
I've always liked just a plain slice, a nice thin crust. One of the coolest places here in this town, next to the Highlander, is Max's. So we got some pizza from Max's. Food today was provided by Max's Pizza. Here's a slice I was eating from before. See, it's plain. I bit in it. I didn't know what he was going to like, so I got half plain and half meatball. I like meatballs sometime on the pizza. I actually like having pizza in the morning with a cup of coffee. You know?
No, I don't.
See how he folded his pizza?
Yeah.
Look how nice.
Clean.
Like a gentleman.
Look, clean.
Clean.
It's good pie. Max's, huh?
He said pie. Explain that to the people in the United Kingdom. It's not lemon meringue. It's pie. Pizza pie.
It's good. It's good pizza pie. We say pie, yeah.
We're having some wine. This is a nice glass of wine. The pizza's delicious. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our pizza was given to us by our friends at Max's Pizza. It's on Park Avenue right here in Scotch Plains, New Jersey. You can look him up on the internet at maxspizza.com. He's also at 908-490-0102. Tell him Mike Marino sent you. And so did Kevin. Kevin Interdonato. He's from North Jersey. It's a big difference. He says pasta now. I don't even say pasta when I come to New Jersey. I'm afraid I'm going to get beat up.
Yeah, me too. I curtailed that pretty quick, man, when I came
I just
back.
remember when I first came home from California. Hey, Ma, you going to make pasta? What happened? What happened? Remember that? What happened? What happened? There's something wrong? No, wait. My mother would cry. You like men now? What happened to you? You know, that happens when you go to California.
All the drugs. There's a lot of drugs. Thanks, Mom.
You know, you do that character a little too good. Your father's getting worried. I first got into stand-up imitating my uncle. And I started doing it again because my Uncle Tommy was just the funniest guy alive. You know, you got somebody in your family like that when they say the craziest shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a cross between Archie Bunker and Lieutenant Columbo. You're like this. They ain't making movies no more anymore. Nothing but shit out there. Stupid movies. My day they made movies with you, Humphrey Bogarts. Remember when we was in the hallway and they told the girl, listen, I don't give a damn.
Oh, my God.
You miss those people? He used to have false teeth, and your little kid, he would take his teeth out and show you. You'd cry the rest of your life. Mommy, Uncle Tommy took his teeth out. No, it's no such thing. Nobody can take their teeth out. What's the matter with you kids? You're just stupid. See what happens with one sip of wine?
Oh, man. And then he's like, come here. And he goes in his pocket and gives you like $2.
Yes.
And he goes, shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
Here's
Put in
for
your pocket.
you.
Don't tell anybody.
And when you get older and you have to take the girl out, you
Right.
go over there because you kids are going to go out with the miniguns and you're going to have
Right.
to go for chicken cutlets. I miss chicken cutlets. My mother made the best chicken cutlets
My mom still
in the
does.
basement.
Yeah? Why
down
don't you
here
come
at
over
that
some?
stove.
My mom makes good chicken cutlets, man.
Did you say mommy?
My mom? No, I didn't say mommy.
Oh, well.
I'm a man, Mike Marino.
If my mother was around, I'd
man.
call her mommy. I don't care. Mommy.
I said, Mom. My grandpa always, slip us a couple dollars on a holiday. He'd slip us like a $5, and he said, shh, take it.
Yeah.
Put in your pockets. Who's your best friend? I said, you, Pop. Who's your best friend? I said, you. He said, nah. And he raised the wad. He said, this is your best friend because cash don't lie.
Yeah.
Cash don't lie. He said, don't tell anybody. And then I'd go in the room and I see him go to my mom. I said, I just gave him $3. Leave him alone. But he said to me, don't say anything to anybody. He said, I just gave the kid $5.
I never thought I'd say like he did, the good old days. You don't know what you're missing back in the day when everything was nice. Now you're nothing but assholes. And now we're saying it to kids. You're nothing but assholes.
Man.
I'm glad you're in the business. I'm glad you're kicking ass. I hope you
Mike.
keep on going and growing. We got to do a project together. Hopefully that'll happen. I enjoy being around people that I want to be around. I've had enough with all this doo-doo bullshit that's going on in the world. So let's keep on rocking.
You too, Mike.
Tell
Thanks.
everybody one more time where they can find you on your social media platforms and your friends if you want.
Feel free to reach out and say hello on Instagram at @TheKevinIntro, or just look up my last name. You can spell it Kevin Interdonato.
All right? You got Facebook and YouTube and all of that?
Yeah, I do, but I'm trying to keep it a little tight these days. So Instagram is the place if you want to say hello.
All right.
It'd be my pleasure.
Well, we will.
Thanks.
All right, folks, listen, we got to get going. I want to thank my friend Kevin Interdonato for coming down to the basement. Thank you so much
Thanks so
for
much for
hanging
having
out,
me.
man.
Thanks
I
for
really
having me.
appreciate that.
It's a pleasure.
We got to get going, folks. Remember, let's make America Italian again. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. Oh, and I also want to thank my producer, Tatiana Blue Shell, for always making sure that we have a great podcast, and she makes the guests come down to the basement, and they're always on time, and they know not to say pasta on my show. And we're also on Spotify now, and the rest of the shows are all exclusively on my YouTube channel, which is Mike Marino Live on YouTube and Spotify. So remember, you don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my podcasts? By saying the same thing with my guest. Don't take no shit from nobody. There you go. Hey, folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.